And we are live on your Nevada Trucking Association podcast. I'm Paul Enos, CEO of the Nevada Trucking Association. Trying this again for the third time, but hey, third time's a charm, right? Just wanted to talk about a couple of things. This weekend in the Wall Street Journal, there was an article on really the trucking capacity squeeze that we are seeing throughout the entire supply chain. Actually, it was forwarded the article by Mary Lau, who is the president and CEO of the Retail Association of Nevada, just talking about the issues that retailers, manufacturers, across the whole gamut of the supply chain, folks that are trying to find trucks. Last year, we saw prices increase 7%. We're on course to hit 10% increase this year, with some companies even going as high as 21%. So we definitely are seeing that squeeze in the trucking market, for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've had a crisis for years trying to attract a number of new drivers into our industry. It has been an issue. We do have a bill that is making its way through Congress right now, which would expand the ability for somebody who is between the age of 18 and 21 who does have a CDL to be able to cross state lines. Right now, somebody in that age range, they can go across the entire state of Nevada, but they couldn't go over the border from Las Vegas to Kingman, Arizona, or from Reno to Truckee. So, that is something that definitely is an issue that we are taking a look at. We'll see if there's going to be any traction on a federal level. I know our friends over at OIDA, they don't like that. That's something that, they feel will cause some issues. And of course, we don't want to cause any issues. We want to see the safest folks out there on the road. But we do understand there is a squeeze, there is tightening capacity. We've seen the issue with this for years. How do we get more people into our industry? One of the problems that we are faced with, even if we are able to attract these folks into our industry between the ages of 18 or 21, a lot of insurance companies will not insure a driver that's under 25 years old. So that is another issue that we are faced with in our industry that does make it difficult to get folks back into our industry. One of the things that we do have an advantage of is working with veterans. Our folks who have a military CDL in the state of Nevada can go, they take a test, written test. They don't have to take the driving test, skills test, and they can trade that military CDL in for a commercial driver's license and be employed by a multitude of trucking companies across the state. So we know that this is an issue. We haven't really seen it hit as bad until the economy starts doing well. And since we have seen that, since our economy is going gangbusters, Bob Costello, who is the chief economist for the American Trucking Association, says he doesn't think there has ever been such a great time for trucking as we see now. But it does bring on a lot of challenges. Truck capacity is definitely one of them, and we are seeing that felt throughout the supply chain. So it is something that we as an industry want to work on. I'm interested to hear what you're doing. How are you recruiting new drivers? How are you getting folks to come into the industry? What are you doing to keep them? We know a number of trucking companies are increasing their pay to keep folks, which is great. That's something that we want to see, are folks that are working hard to move 90%, 92% of Nevada's freight, over 70% of America's. We want to see them paid well. So I think that definitely is a good thing to improve their lives. But we do need more folks. This can be a great career for somebody who is responsible, who takes safety, really is one of the paramount virtues. Those are the folks that we want to get into the industry. So there are some problems with our industry and with driving, and one of the biggest problems we have is the truck parking issue. And we talked about this, I was actually on vacation last week, but we talked about this with Bill Thompson week before last about the Freight Advisory Committee. The Freight Advisory Committee was held last week. They talked about truck parking as one of the main issues, one of our main issues of concern that we have in really the ability of our drivers to pull over and find a safe place to park. So we did a survey. One of the things that we are doing with NDOT with Cambridge, which is the lead contractor in the truck parking study, with the American Transportation Research Institute. They put a survey out to all the drivers. It was open to everybody. I believe it closed last week, although who knows, it could be reopened again. If it is, we will let you know. But there were some results on that survey. So let's just take a look at some of the results that we got from the truck parking survey. First of all, where do we have the issue? As you can see in that slide behind me, the most difficult place where folks have an issue to find truck parking is in that I-15 corridor. Now, that makes a lot of sense. It's an urban area, it's congested, so trying to find truck parking on I-15 is the worst. I-80 is number 2, and that shouldn't surprise anybody either. I'm sure if it was snowing out, the average, if it snowed 12 months a year and Donner Pass was closed like it often is during the winter season, we would see I-80 go up a little bit. But as you can see, the rest of the corridors throughout the state, US 93, 95, US 6 aren't as big of an issue with truck parking as we do have in those urban corridors. Now let's take a look at the next question that was asked. Why? What are the reasons that you have for parking in an unauthorized place? And I will say the folks down there, the media in Las Vegas, Joe Bartels has been great at covering this issue, great at reaching out to us. And I did see this last week on their newscast that did air down in Las Vegas. And I did put that out on our Twitter feed if you want to take a gander and watch that for yourself. But the number one reason why truckers are parking in another unauthorized spot is because they are out of hours. We knew that this was going to come to even more of a head when we saw the implementation of ELDs, and so we are seeing that issue much more acute today than it has been in a long time. So 57.4% of the folks are parking in an unauthorized spot because they run out of hours of service. Now, personal conveyance, I know some folks at NHP have some issues with that, how that's going to apply, but our hope is that personal conveyance rule will give drivers some kind of flexibility in terms of being able to find that safe place to park. No parking facilities nearby. This is an issue that we can fix. If we can identify those areas where truck parking is needed, build more spots, expand some of the current rest stops that we have or current truck stops, I think there's definitely some play there. Once again, no available truck parking, no free parking. That's about a third of the folks out there. Waiting to make a scheduled delivery, those are folks, that's detention time. Those are the folks that are being held up at a shipper's facility often who can't get there to get loaded or unloaded. So detention time, another big issue for our drivers. Let's go to the next slide. Search times. Almost 90%, actually I can round up, 89.6% of our drivers are looking for a truck parking spot for more than 15 minutes. So you can see less than 15 minutes is the lowest. That's 10.4%. 52.2% are looking for a truck parking spot between 15 and 30 minutes. A third of drivers are spending over 30 minutes trying to find a safe place to park. And when you look at those numbers just a little closer, almost 50% are looking for a truck parking spot for more than an hour. So it definitely is an issue. It is something that we are working at getting addressed, and really this is really the first step that we need to take to just see where that problem is and really identify what those problems are. And then there are some proposed solutions that they have taken a look at. Of course, we want to see the private sector involved. I think they are the best folks at solving this issue. So it is developing more private truck parking spots, new large public facilities with minimal amenities. Well, if you've been to any of the rest stops in the middle of Nevada, I think we're already there with the minimal amenities. but maybe expanding on some of those areas that we have, try to be more strategic in terms of urban areas, where to stage those vehicles so they can serve their customers, because really that's what it's all about. And then expanding the private spots. One of the things I think we're very blessed in the state of Nevada to have is a great working relationship with our local governments. Once again, I want to commend Mayor John Lee in North Las Vegas. I want to commend Commissioner Susan Bragger, RTC, really helping us try to solve this issue. Okay, we want to hear more from you. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, ideas for future podcasts, please let us know. But we wanted to just get this out there. This is going to be both on YouTube. If you're watching on Periscope, thank you very much. YouTube streaming. So we're trying to do a couple different things. You can see I'm mic'd twice here, both for what we're going to put out on YouTube and then what we're doing for live streaming. But thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free to direct message me on Twitter, PJE_NV Trucks, or send me an email, PJE@NVadatrucking.com. Do that again, PJE@NevadaTrucking.com. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate you watching and listening. Everybody have a great day and safe travels.